Morning everybody and welcome. It's World Sports Betting Morning Show. It's the way to start off your weekend with a smile on your face from myself, Alistair, and the rest of the team. A very good morning to you. Before I introduce the panel, let's have a look at the lineup. This is most important that we stick to some sort of structure. Right, we're going to be talking about Australian racing for the first 10 minutes after I introduce everybody. Then we're going to go over to Belmont Race 2 down under. Dom Zacky's here and he's got some information about that. Then there's going to be a lot of sport talk. There's cricket, rugby, golf, cycling and poker. Wonder who we're going to be talking to poker about. Then Belmont Race 3 getting underway a little bit before 5 to 8. Then we're coming back to our Techie Town competition winners. We'll be announcing a few Techie Town winners because we apologise for the SMS lines being down, so we're going to catch up on some lost time. There's also tennis, Wimbledon finals coming up, and also we'll round up the best bets for the weekend. So without further ado, let's introduce the panel. We're going to start off with Dom Zachy, who's tipped me 2 horses the entire week. And I take it they're both running at Belmont today.
Both running at Belmont. There's just one little problem that the one scratched in the second leg.
You told me that was an 11 out of 10 certainty.
It was. Because as I got to the studio this morning, I looked at the bedding, and I just saw it scratched. There must have been a very late scratching, Galaxy Star in the third. But we got one to replace it, so that's just as good.
But your jockey's not riding it anymore. You said William Park. William
Park double, but unfortunately, that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles, and we've got 2 nice ones, and there is a bit of value in both of them.
Gary, have you got any nice ones today? Any nice ones in any type of discipline?
I think there's a lot of punting to be done this weekend, isn't there? It doesn't matter what your sport preference is. There's just something for everybody.
Yeah.
Like I said, rugby, cricket, tennis, cycling, the lot. Yearly football time, that's around the corner. Couple of weeks only.
Yeah, plenty of the old friendlies during the week. I don't know if you saw Arsenal playing in Australia. Look a little
Did they win?
They won 2-0, mate. It was your champions, eh?
Sydney, wasn't it?
Sydney
side.
Sydney.
I watched the game today.
Yeah, pretty ordinary, matey. But but they're on the road. All the teams, aren't they? All doing the pre-season stuff. So
I see some signings coming through. Kyle Walker worth 52 million.
Yeah, the biggest between 2 English clubs, and I'm a little bit surprised. I've been trying to find out exactly why. Whether it was just the fact he ran out of his contract and he had a year left as usual. I would have thought, being a London boy, I thought he'd have stayed home, but you know, he'd have got a massive payday, wouldn't he, just by moving there for that kind of money. So, no, you're right. It's just round the corner, and can't wait.
Rod, how's the shingles?
You've got shingles as well.
Catchy as anything.
They haven't joined up, have they? If they join up, mate, that's it. Seriously?
Yeah, I've got them.
Have you? Have they? You know what it is, don't you?
What?
Well, it's a nervous complaint. It's your nerve ends.
You work here, you'll be nervous all the
I
time.
know, but don't let them join up.
Well, how do I stop them joining up?
I don't know. Go to see somebody.
I went to see the doctor, and this is what the lady, very nice...
You told me you started laughing
No.
when you took your shirt off.
Yeah, well, she did. She said put it back on. I said, but you got to...
She?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So what she said was, she said, how do you think you got him? I said, I've no idea. I had a sore back and I asked my wife to rub a bit of Voltaren on because I had a sore back, and then she realised there was all red spots there.
Yeah.
So the lady said, do you mix with old people? I said, I sit next to one of those buggers every Saturday. She said, well, that's where you got it. So have you had it?
Don't let it... If you join up, you're gone.
Well, they've joined.
No, it's gone all the way around.
Right around.
If they go all the way and join, I promise you...
What happens to you?
You're brain bread.
They actually said to me, be careful because your heart can have a heart attack.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Brain bread, matey.
But true story I read about this, Rod, is that the best time to donate blood is just after shingles.
Why?
It's the most healtty your blood can be.
Oh, really? Once you come through it?
Yeah, those that survive. 4 out of 10 that survive give blood, yeah.
I tell you, it's very painful, eh?
It's cool.
Have you had it?
What, the shingles or something else?
That's
I
painful.
can see you're uncomfortable even. You can see that.
I'm telling you now, you know, you just sort of
Scratch it.
No, I promise you, I wear little mitts.
Gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't, but I haven't scratched it, no. Why would you wear gloves?
So you don't scratch it.
Yeah, well, just tell yourself don't scratch it.
It's all happening here,
willpower.
Dom, because another one of our staff has got pink eye.
Yeah.
Mr. Elston.
Elston last night, we had to sanitise everything after he left.
Yes. To be fair, I think you should be doing that all the time after people leave here.
Yeah, but this morning I see Brandon Bailey's got all the sanitizer out, and he's The studio is so clean that it's blinking.
Jeez, what a place this is. Okay, so everyone's falling down. Hopefully everything works out according to plan. But now we're going to talk about Belmont, race number 2. And before Dom leaves, we're also going to ask him what he's replaced his Galaxy Star with in the 3rd race. So Belmont race 2 is where we're off to next, Dom. What have you got for us?
Yeah, up the William Park's still in there. He's drawn nicely 3. Ms. Lecky's the horse. What's the price there? 3 to 1.
3 to 1. So we'll get the Ms. Lecky afterwards.
You get the Ms. Lecky afterwards, yeah. And I think 3 to 1's a nice price. And obviously the guys know out there that the promotion that World Sports are offering, it's, if it doesn't run in the first 4, they get their money back in free bets. So it's a no-brainer again. It's Ms. Lecky. I think it's going to win it. It doesn't look like too much opposition, but we going with William Park and Ms. Lecky in the second race. Yeah.
Terry, how do you pronounce number 1 there?
Number 1, let me see, okay? See where... Salubrious.
Oh, what does it mean?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so that's race 2. We're going with the favourite there, Ms. Lecky. 3 to 1. Nice way to start off the weekend. Gary, catch that. You've got some float to play for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And sorry, Gary, to interrupt. Let's not forget the last bet that I made a star bet last week won.
Yeah.
but
Did it win?
Yeah,
You were here. You shouted at
You
home.
told me it.
No,
didn't
no,
you
no.
said it wasn't in the first 6.
No, we had just left.
Ability. The horse was called Ability. And and
we left.
the guys got 5 to 2. So, yeah.
Well done, Dom.
Well done, Don.
Yeah,
boy.
so we're keeping it up. So
Yes.
Which is the other one in the 3rd?
Yes, that's what we want to know.
Okay, the
After
one,
you win the first,
the
where
one
we
in the
put in
3rd
the-
was Galaxy Star. It's scratched.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
She's one of the next stars in Australia.
You said she's better than Black Caviar yesterday.
No,
What?
no.
Who said that?
Dom!
You know, Alistair exaggerates quite a bit. You know,
okay, Dom.
yeah, but
I know what you're going for here.
which one?
Prophet
Four
Street.
gods.
Yeah, Terry's right. 4 Dogs, the one. That was the danger to Galaxy Star. So I'd say the guys can take a nice small double. If the first one doesn't arrive, get their money back on the second one, War Dog.
There we
Oh,
go.
God. How's the
Oh, God.
dyslexia?
War Dog was a
Oh,
horse
God.
I think that Michael Azzy had.
War Dog.
That's right.
No, that
correct.
was it.
Yeah,
I
War
think.
Dog, yeah.
Or Overdog, something like that. He had a horse, something dog that used to go about 4 furlongs only and then stop. Long time ago, you couldn't have been more than 12. I remember that. He's
few of
fastest
us
horse
have had
I've
a
ever
few
seen, but
dogs.
wouldn't see at 5 furlongs.
My mate married
Overdog,
one.
I think.
My mate. I'm just saying.
Which mates is that? You don't have many.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple of them. Anyway.
And then there's other big racing today locally, Don. There's Greyville today, and there's also Kenilworth.
Yeah.
And then, so I see you got your Turfentine card there. You must have studied up a storm.
Well, the new promotion with Gary, joint bet. I like that horse, Left, Right, Good Night tomorrow at Turfentine in race 3. Its last run is all wrong. That is a top horse. I saw it win first time out, and the 1400 last time might have been a touch too far for it right at the moment. It was very green. Andrew Fortune gave it a bit of a soft ride, but it just didn't say the distance. I personally think. You
I
know?
see he's nominated for the 1200 metre race on Gold Cup Day, the Grade 3. I think it's the Kamazi Stakes, Left, Right, Good Night. So that could be a signal of intent. And anything for today at Greyville?
Yeah,
Mercury
well,
Sprints?
Greyville's a tough card today, but the Mercury Sprint looks like a lovely race. Obviously, I've got sentiment for Bull Valley. He won a good race last time. He's drawn well. I see Carl Zechner's aboard. And obviously, Trip to Heaven's the one to beat from the Terry stable. I think Terry will win the race. If Trip to Heaven jumps, he's going
his
to be
problem,
very hard to
Gets
beat.
left.
Never
and
won a
then-
Group 1
Even-
though, all that ability.
No.
One
he
horse that deserves to win a Group 1. But I tell you what, even if he doesn't jump, I mean, if he loses a length or two, he can still win
okay,
today.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won a Group 1. He was demoted on an objection.
objection.
Yeah,
Winning
but he
in
loves
weights as
Greyville.
well.
He loves Greyville. He's a Greyville specialist. So yeah, Trip to Heaven's the one to beat. And if he fluffs his lines, Bull Valley will be there to pick up the pieces.
Oh, Gary, speaking of Sean Terry, little birdie from the stable told me that he's 2 wins away from the South African record.
Oh, really?
Number
Yeah.
of wins.
What,
He's
in
almost
the
got-
season?
In my
in
opinion.
the season, yeah. 30, it was almost up to 35 million. A big day today. If he wins the Mercury Sprint, we'll take him to 35, I
And I
think.
mean, you were only talking about 30 million a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
You know? At
scary.
the end of the day, he stands out head and shoulders above everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just my opinion. We've all got our own opinions, you know.
Well,
but he just trains horses
Proof
that
in
win.
the pit. I mean, it's there. I
And he
mean,
does something else that a lot of trainers can't do. He takes horses right from their juvenile careers to 6, 7, and 8-year-olds sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, he keeps them
Sees them
going.
through.
Brilliant. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? He's by far the best
I
trainer.
had one horse with him that was very ordinary, and he still won with it.
Yeah, no, top class. Okay, we've got to take a break. We've got to watch that second race from Belmont. Dom's leaving, Liam's coming in, and Rod's going to have some Voltaren rubbed on his back by Terry.
make it back-to-back victories at Rose Hill.
All right, there is number 12 moving up. Slightly Sweets. How many we've got out? We've got Centre Pivot to move up. Now, Centre Pivot's in the reverse set. 9th Legion wears the predominantly red. That's Centre Pivot going up in the predominantly yellow. Riderless Classic Uniform goes up, and they are going forward on Classic Uniform. Here's Darren for the Winter Stakes.
And we're all set. It's an open betting race. Gold Symphony drawn wider out. Is the race favourite in the Triple Crown colours. We're ready for a getaway. Racing now, Classic Uniform jump well on the outside. Oxford Poet first outer from Classic Uniform is caught pretty deep. 9th Legion's bursting right through along the running rail to go up and join and head Oxford Poet in the early stages. They're followed by Burning Passion. It's mustering going to third on the outside of El Lure, followed then by over on the inside Extensible, and Shiraz is just in front of it. Classic Uniform caught a bit deep. Further back to Slightly Sweet on the outside of Gold Symphony, then Snippets Land. 2 further back to Man of His Word, Berry Delicious, and Centre Pivot is the last one. They've got 800 metres to run, and 9th Legion just shading last year's winner Oxford Poet, and Burning Passions caught 3 deep, no cover. Classic Uniforms out 4 deep, followed by Olu in 5th. Further back to Extensible, Shiraz just off the speed. Further back to Gold Symphony in a tricky spot. Slightly Sweet the outside of it, followed by Snippets Land. Well back then on the turn is Man of His Word from Berry Delicious, and Centre Pivot is the last one. Into the straight, 9th Legion just leads from Oxford Poet, Burning Passion. Extensible's looking for a splitter. Then came Shiraz, who looks to be going okay. Oxford Poet and Burning Passion. Shiraz is getting the run through. Burning Passion hits the lead. El Lou's going up the inside. Man of His Word, Slightly Sweet, flashing home. Slightly Sweet goes up to El Lou. Slightly Sweet's won the Civic in a great finish. Slightly Sweet's won it. For the minors, I'm not sure here. El Lou right up towards the rails, deep out Man of His.
Just starting to move in here. Belmont race 2 moving up. First 3 runners in the gates include Trustee Bynes and also Pearl Trade. Walked in for Pat Carberry. Cognac attempting to make it 4 straight wins in this preparation. Goes up there. The debutante Ritualistic is in the gates. Ms. Lecky about to come forward as well. 3:20, it's the favourite for the next Ms. Lecky. Riderless Salubrious to join the gates as well. Out to make it 3 straight wins. So Ascot Gold, Pokemon Pete, Demons and Dust, and also Ask Lisa to make their way in. Gate attendants working on Ms. Lecky. The Lope de Vega filly goes in. No, she doesn't. She pulls away again at the last moment. Just pulled back. Ask Lisa to come forward. Pokemon Pete, Demons and Dust, as well as Ascot Gold. Now this time the filly walks forward. Ms. Lecky goes up for William Pike. And now the final 5 runners about to be taken in hand. Here's Pokemon Pete moving in. Pokemon Pete walks up there. Soundly beaten first up behind Cognac. Ask Lisa joins them. So 3 left to move in. First for the day. If you missed that result there, taken out by Gatting. Got there by a head over Rosewood Hill. They cleared out and finished well in front of Northridge. There's Ascot Gold heading along. Colours of owner Charlie Galluccio there on Ascot Gold, moving up into the stalls. So just a couple now to move on in. The riderless Salubrious making its way along there. Jared Noski waiting on its arrival inside of the machine, and Demons and Dust will be the last to come forward. So the market here, $2.90 Ms. Lecky, $2.90, and she continues to firm. $3.70 for Pearl Trade, and it's $6.50 there for Cognac. The light is flashing. The 2-year-olds are ready in the Get the Tab Touch plate. Set to break. Racing. First away, Trustee Bynes, but Ms. Lecky had jumped out quickly, and here's Cognac and Salubrious both burning across now from the outside at the end of 200. Right behind the Mask, Lisa pushing up Pearl Trade from the inside, and then came Ritualistic, a bit wide going into the bottom corner. Further back is Pokemon Pete, Demons and Dust, and dropping out last now is Ascot Gold. 800 left to go, and Cognac with superior pace had crossed them to lead. It's Cognac attempting to make it 4 in a line over Salubrious, who moved up, sitting at his quarters, running second. Then found the outside at the head of the others. Ritualistic sitting 3 deep, the newcomer. On the fence to Trustee Bynes, Ms. Lecky tucked away just behind them. Then very deep on the track, Demons and Dusk. They're being followed by Pearl Trade. Back in a bit of traffic with Ask Lisa, Pokemon Pete and Ascot Gold. As Salubrious ranges up now and goes to Cognac. It's Cognac and Salubrious, and now letting down behind them Ms. Lecky. A length and a half away to Pearl Trade, winding up, but Cognac fights back from Salubrious. Ms. Lecky coming, Salubrious, Cognac. Now Ms. Lecky, Salubrious. Ms. Lecky got ahead in front in the final part, and Ms. Lecky did a little too well. Ms. Lecky beat Salubrious, game in defeat, and the same can be said for Cognac. Then Pearl Trade fourth, running on Ascot Gold, an improved run. Pokemon Pete, Trustee Bynes, further back to Demons and Dust.
Right, now we can fire. There we go. 3-1 shot. Ms. Lecky has won at Belmont. Good result, that, Gary.
4.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant. I mean, he's a proper machine, Dom, isn't he?
Yes.
It's all the hours of studying that he does, you know what I'm saying? No,
I've seen him study for Australian racing before. He spends hours at it,
Yeah,
days at it.
Days. Brilliant, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're all in front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got WSB on the back foot already before 7:30. Let's see if we can follow through and put them away today.
Might have enough to buy their licence at the end of this. Liam's back from Lords. How was Lords, matey?
It was good. It was the cricket, however, wasn't that great.
How's the jet lag? Because Gary's right. Off air, you said very lethargic. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe I picked up something, Rod. It's very easy to pick up something.
Well,
these
it's
days.
going around, I can tell you that.
Around and around, yeah. No, it was good. It was the place has a sense of occasion, and the weather was fantastic. The first 3-4 days, and it was great. The result, of course, deeply lamentable.
How? I mean, you obviously saw it firsthand. What was the reaction at Lords with all the English support? Were they a little bit disappointed? Because I'm sure they went there expecting a bit of a fight, a good scrap, a good 5-day test match.
They were delirious. I mean, they were very happy with the result. Obviously, the South African contingent, especially the ones who travelled there, less so.
Are you speaking for yourself?
No, the folks that that I came in contact with, so they weren't very happy. Not so much that South Africa lost the test; it's the manner in which. I mean, there were obviously mitigating circumstances, but the fourth innings capitulation was a bit drastic.
Okay, well, we are busy with the second test, of course, and South Africa batted first, and actually batted quite well, Rod, to get over 300 runs, 6 wickets down. A good effort from especially Vernon Philander and Chris Morris at the end to see out the day's play.
Much better balanced side, wasn't it? You know, with obviously taking de Kock and putting him up at 4, he got the run rate up to well over 4 at one stage. If you looked at every other batter, they were scoring at probably a strike rate of maybe 50 during the day, and he was always scoring at around about 90, 85, and he helped the score along. You know, then we got it down to number 6, our mate, who did, you know, he's still averaging his 30, so good luck to him. But now, with 2 all-rounders in the side, they certainly can pick up the pace. It'll be interesting to see what they do this morning. Will they get knocked over early, or could they put on a quick 50, which could put them in a bit of the driving seat? But I still think England, be interesting, you never judge a side until both sides have had a bat on the pitch. I mean, we all learnt that, it's a common saying. But it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think they're pretty confident, England, and I think they've got a pretty well-balanced side. But guys like Gary Balance and them, they're going to have to start performing because they're right under the spotlight at the moment. Root couldn't have got off to a better start, you know, with scoring runs.
Jennings is under a bit of pressure as well.
I think so, yeah.
Up front.
How's that over he bowled at the end? Did you see
Actually,
that?
it wasn't bad. He
No.
swing nicely.
I imagine facing that and getting out because it was about, what, 3 kilometres an hour? I mean, if it went any slower...
Ian Botham's comment was...
Who did he play for here? Easterns or something? Who did he play for?
He played a little bit of club cricket at Pirates as well
At
before
Pirates.
we went over.
Isn't that your club?
It is.
Were you in the same team as him?
No, come on, get real. He bowled a lot more for them.
So what age was he when he left here then, Leon? What age was he when he left here?
It's 1920.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just before he moved to England.
Yeah.
1920 was a long time ago.
Terry?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But if you're looking for a punting here today,
Yeah,
you know, where's the value to have a bet? You know,
Gary.
do you back England? England would have been favourites. Maybe not so now with South Africa
That's
doing
right.
well.
It's like favourites there now. I mean, this is all 3 results are allowed because we're not sure about the weather, you know.
That's right. That's going to be a little
you know,
bit
I would
dodgy.
suggest that if you had a bet here, choose your team,
Yeah.
back them with WSB, draw no bet. So you're going to be taking maybe 7.5 to 10. I'm just guessing. England, draw no bet. Even money, South Africa, draw no bet. Something like that. And then if it rains, at least you're not miserable.
Or take the draw.
Or do you take a bet like Philander? Will he perform on this wicket? There was plenty of swing around last night, wasn't it? So do you pick out a person, a batsman or bowler who you want to go with? Do you take a guy like Philander on this sort of wicket? Because you're going to start keeping a bit low and it's still swinging.
You could
he
go
take 4 or
Stuart
5
Broad
wickets?
for 10
Well,
easily, I think.
Well, there you go. Maybe
taken,
that's the
what,
bet to
3
pick
already?
out the guy you like.
It's a bit of
You know,
extra.
I just think that the toughest time to bat's when the ball's new and it's swinging around a little bit for both sides. That's why I
Yes,
think
correct.
this morning's session going to be critical, and it's going to be very difficult for both of them to survive. And once one of them goes and ends open, I think that England will go through them quickly. And my gut feeling is that South Africa are going to finish somewhere between 345 and 360, which I think probably not going to be enough.
I have a theory with this morning's play, and I actually want all of your opinions whether this is the right theory. If South Africa see it out to lunch, back South Africa. Rod, do you agree with that?
If they see it out to lunch. Well, if you see it out to lunch and you don't score any runs, it doesn't really matter. No, what I'm saying...
With Morris
because
batting, I think you're
I
going
don't
to get a
think
few
these 2
runs.
players will block it today. There's no point. All you do is using up time where you could be bowling at them and trying to win the game. So I think Gary's on the right track. They'll either get the runs quickly or they'll be knocked over because there's no point in trying to put the game into a draw position. What's the point? Because they're actually putting your hand up and saying, we can't win. Is that an unfair comment?
It's a very Australian theory, and it's a good theory
Well,
as
you
well.
try and go progress the game forward. So if you think you're good enough to bowl them out, give yourself the maximum time to do it.
And with that bowling attack, Liam, I mean, they'd back themselves to take 20 wickets. I mean, there are 20 bowlers playing for South Africa in this Test match.
Well, as he pointed out earlier, it's a much better balanced side, so they've got more options. Obviously, a great disappointment that Kagiso Rabada isn't available. But there certainly should be enough firepower to bowl out England twice on that wicket.
Yeah, Women's World Cup is also going along.
Big game today.
Yes.
Big game today, matey.
Australia?
Are playing?
SA, aren't they?
Good question. India, maybe?
No. You guys are going to play India. in
Oh,
the
yeah,
semi.
I knew it was one of us. Yeah.
South Africa playing Australia.
Australia 1-4. I mean, they have been probably the form side throughout the Women's World Cup, Gary, but South Africa have definitely got a lot of attention. They've caught many an eye during this World Cup, haven't they?
Don't know. Not mine. I've started not to watch until they start playing topless. Otherwise, why would I want to watch women when I can watch men? I mean, that's the truth, right? I can watch proper men playing cricket. I must go watch these.
The
It's a
phone's
very
ringing already,
concerning
Gary.
statement.
I mean, it's no. I mean, I know last week you all said how great it was, and I actually went to watch it, right? And the way the woman ran in, I thought she was going to be an off-break bowler, and she was the opening bowler. I couldn't believe
Told
it.
him that last
Not
week.
for me.
Can hardly reach the other end.
Yeah, not for me.
If it's anything I hate.
Yeah, no.
Hey, some of those bowlers get it up to 120 Ks.
What? Oh, bowling. Oh, yeah.
Yes. No. That's.
No, but they actually can bat. I mean, they're not too bad. They field all right. I've actually watched a few games and I've actually enjoyed it. But you are right.
It would be better.
Shingles gets your mind going, obviously.
No, but I'll tell you.
It would be better if they didn't play tops. Am I right? Think
He's saying
about it.
nothing. He's saying nothing.
I'm out of this one.
Definitely.
That's your opinion.
And tennis would be.
So listen to the phones, Gary. The phones are ringing already. This is their last show.
Yeah, they're agreeing with Gary.
Right, so that's Women's World Cup. Let's talk about rugby now. Super Rugby continues. Can you believe it? There are 5 games left of the the round robin competition.
Yeah,
the whatchamacallit. There we go.
It, yeah.
Let's
Not quite round robin either, by the way, but anyway.
well, whatever you want to call it, regular season.
Yes.
There we go. Match weeks, whatever you want to, whatever verb you can think of, whatever word you can think of, put it in there. Right, 4 games have been played in this round so far, and Liam, the Highlanders too strong for the Reds. I mean, why do they even bother putting these Australian teams against the New Zealand teams?
Yeah, I mean, that result
same
was
as
very,
last year.
very, very predictable. I mean, the Reds did fashion a win last week, but I mean, there wasn't much in it because, I mean, it was obviously a local derby, but against the Highlanders, they had no chance.
It was exactly on the spread. The spread varied from about 22 to 24, perfectly on the spread.
Yeah.
You know?
Trying to say the bookmakers know something.
Yeah, well, the people that set the markers, at the end of the day, give the bookmakers, you know what I mean, the people that set markers and the bookmakers and the people that lay bets, you know. So the people that set the markers really accurate there, you know. And if you go back to the later game last night as well, again, and the second game yesterday, every single spread with 5 minutes to go was right there, you know.
There's a big however this morning, though, isn't there?
Yeah, well, we'll get to the big however this morning in just a moment. But Terry's team, the Jaguares, beat the Reds, or the Rebels rather, yesterday. Then last night's game, and I actually watched the last 20 minutes of this when the cricket had come to an end, and the team from your neck of the woods, Rod.
They've had a good year, haven't they?
Very
you know,
good year.
take your hat off to them. You know, we wrote them off at the start of the season, said that it's embarrassing, whatever. But they've played well, I must say. Are they going to get into this competition?
They're gone, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gone.
They'll probably play in the Pro 12, which will become the Pro 14 in Europe.
Yeah.
It's a very competitive league, that. So, you know, as much as we say, you know, give them a chance in Super Rugby, they actually will be in a very, very
tough
good
league,
competition.
yeah.
And it may actually, in the end, benefit them and the Cheetahs a lot
But you think
more.
a few of those players who put their hand up, who were no-name brands before the start of the season, surely would get picked up from a few of the other unions.
I'll tell you something interesting, though, and I'm not going to mention name. The Bulls' top paid players earn more than the entire Kings squad put together. Did you know that?
No, well, probably.
Yeah. They're top paid.
The problem they also with the Kings is that a lot of those players aren't contracted there, so there will be a
That's right, they're
natural
from other unions. That's
exodus
right.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So, but if they can, obviously, if they can keep the backbone of that side together, the spine, then, you know, they'll be. I'm not going to suggest they'll go to the Pro 12 or the Pro 14 and win it, but they might be.
How does that compare travelling-wise to what they do
much
now?
easier.
Much easier.
Simple flight to the UK. Or, well, yeah. And you don't have the jet lag doesn't come into it. It's not a long trip where you're away for 3 weeks or for 2 weeks. It'll be in and out.
By the way, quickly, how good a coach is Dion Davids? Because when he got the job at the Kings, he'd been with the junior side and done okay, but what he's done with a team of misfits, been absolutely brilliant.
Unheralded, and when you talk to him, I mean, it's actually it's fascinating to interview him because he does bring not different insights, but he's got a very calm demeanour and he explains things in a very simple way. And I think the players, that certainly has resonated with those players. You get the sense that they play for him.
All right, let's have a look at today's first result. Can you believe it? The Sunwolves have beaten the Blues, Gary, so that 3-1 you got on Ms. Lecky has all gone straight back to World Sports Betting.
No, I
or
mean,
has it?
No, I mean, I like the Sunwolves. I thought that plus 30 was maybe a little bit too much, you know. Back at home with a Blue side that had nothing to play for. And a Blue side that, you know, let's be perfectly honest, over the season they've had some good performances, but they haven't really reached what I believe their potential. All they've been overrated.
But they're also the kind of side, if they click there
They
against
can
the
win by
Sunwolves
60 or
team
70.
that hasn't pitched, or often haven't pitched this season, they could have beaten them by 60 points.
I thought the Sunwolves, I don't know if you saw the game last week if you're in London, I thought that against the Stormers, they showed a little bit of guts, you know what I mean? Yes, they got beaten quite handsomely in the end, but there were a couple of late tries. The last one just wasn't a try at all. I mean, the guy must have passed it 30 yards forward. But I mean, I think that they showed
30 yards forward.
I've never seen anything like it, right? It was like an American football pass, I promise you now. And nobody said anything. Obviously, I needed the other side to hang on for the spread. But I mean...
How's your eyes, Gary?
Okay, I want you to go back and you tell me if that wasn't 1.5 meters at least forward, right?
Well, considering you came on the show once with an eye patch on.
Suddenly.
It was an American football pass, but there was like celebration and everybody excited and you didn't say let it go. And I was like miserable at home. But anyway, you know, the Sunwolves, at the end of the, I mean, they're going to come back next season in a tougher competition. Let's be honest. It's a little bit less watered down. What do they do next year to avoid these 30? I know they won today. but these 30 and 40 and 90-point
Points,
hammering
yeah,
that they got
exactly.
from the Lions. How do they do that without bringing in a lot of non-Japanese players?
Look, against the Lions, they were diabolical. I mean, they were falling off tackles. It really looked like men against boys.
Okay, we've got 9 minutes. We've still got to talk about the rest of the rugby and cycling and tennis as well. But you know who's a good side, Rod, is the Highlanders.
They've shortened in the betting like you can't believe. Do you rate them, Gary?
I mean, I deserve to do my money, I must be honest, you know. I hope they don't allow people with shingles into New Zealand. But I mean, this game, to get onto this game, this is the cracker of the game.
Brilliant. By the way, this morning's game is 0-0, the Chiefs and the Highlanders right now, so we won't talk about that. Hurricanes Crusader, brilliant game. Gary, carry on.
Okay, so I mean, these are two really close sides. You know, the Hurricanes are at home now. The Crusaders got a lot to play for, and yet they're resting one or two of their All Blacks.
The whole
and
front
everything.
row. They're
No,
rested.
exactly. So this is one of my best bets. I think my honest opinion is that the Hurricanes are a better side than them. And I know it sounds stupid that the Crusaders are ahead of them on the log and everything and then beaten them once.
Yep.
I truly believe, though, that the Hurricanes, man for man, are a better side than
I'm
the
with you
Crusaders.
100%.
I agree with
I've
you as
gone
well.
with you this
Liam?
game.
You're looking there all smug.
No. Obviously, what you're saying now is based purely on what you've seen this season, or are you
Yes, of
factoring in
course.
last season?
No. Just this, and even last season, obviously, you know. But I mean, I just think this season now, current form, the Crusaders, I think, have done better than their real ability. They're a good side, don't get me wrong. But I think the Hurricanes are the best New Zealand
And those
side.
Barrett brothers, how good are
Brilliant.
they?
And then
Unbelievable.
Severe brothers. And they just got superstars everywhere you look, you know.
But it's an interesting ploy or tactic that the Crusaders have adopted for this in terms of their selections, because should they lose and the Lions win,
They get the home final here.
the whole travelling schedule changes.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what their thinking might have been. I thought about this long and hard last night. Their thinking might be, even if they finish second, which they don't want to, obviously, there's nothing to say for sure that the Lions will beat two New Zealand sides here to get into the final.
yeah,
In which case...
look at the way the Lions played last year. They rested a few players, went to Buenos Aires, lost there, and came back, and those rested players fired for 2.5 weeks in a row.
No, but I'm just saying that maybe that's in the Crusaders thinking that, you know, give a rest now, and when you get to the knockouts, you fresh.
All right, well, let's have a look at the big Australian derby, Terry. The Force and the Waratahs, what do you make of this?
Very close.
What a crap
I think the Waratahs will probably just hedge it.
What a rubbish game this is, eh?
No, I tell you what, the Force, they've got something to play for. It's Matt Hodgson, rather. It's his last game. He's retiring. He was injured, but he's back for this one, so it'll be his farewell. So I think that in itself will render it, there'll be a bit of an
How bad were
occasion
the
for them.
Waratahs last week? I mean, how bad were they?
I didn't watch them.
Well,
He was at Lord's.
you were sensible because they were
Shocking,
just...
eh?
Hey, and that's got half the Australian side in it.
I don't know what they're going to
So
do.
I tell you what, any side that loses to them in the Rugby Championship coming up should be banned also. Should
Can
be
you
kicked
believe
out.
they're second favourites? I looked on WSB
can't believe
last
it.
week.
They are
They're
horrendous.
shorter than South Africa. I just don't know how that is.
Well, they
But I
haven't-
think the Force will win this game, and you
will.
can get a bit of start.
Which
so bad.
Australian team is going? Are any Australian teams going?
Yeah, two of them, aren't they?
No,
Force?
just one of them.
Just one.
Oh, is it only
Look,
one?
the
Oh.
problem there is that it will end up in court.
Court,
so
yeah.
Who's
saw
it, the
that.
Force or the Melbourne side, Rebels?
Probably the Rebels, but the Rebels are partly privately owned, so they're supposed to be in until 2020, and that's
Is that
what
the contract?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a cool flight for them if they go to the Pro 12, right? They
Yes, they've got
keep
no
missing
chance.
their tee-off time.
Right, Bulls and the Stormers at Loftus a bit later on. This game kicks off at 3:05. Liam, the Bulls got very little to play for. They were beaten by the Kings last week, and the Stormers will probably want to head to the playoffs with a bit of momentum.
Absolutely. And also the opening game of Super Rugby for both those sides this year, the Stormers dismantled the Bulls properly at Newlands. I don't see this game necessarily being as one-sided as that one, but I think the Stormers for me are clear favourites.
You just look at their Stormers packed. Peter Steph, Dutoy, Esterbeth, Khaleesi. They got some really quality Springboks they're playing today. You know what I mean? I mean, on paper.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, if they allow forward passes, I just think the Stormers going to win by 20 points. I really
I mean,
do, you know?
the Bulls did well to go to Durban and beat the Sharks a few weeks ago, but they'll need a bigger effort than that this time around.
Right, next game, last game of the pool stages is the Lions and the Sharks down in Durban. Does that help shingles, drinking water?
You have to...
No, but it helps just going across the camera. It's quite good.
Well, if we had a decent director in there, they'd see that I'm drinking and keep off me, wouldn't they?
Right, Sharks and you're not endeared yourself to Curvis. No. Sharks and the Lions. Now, there's an interesting dynamic behind this game, Liam, because if the Sharks get beaten, they don't have to travel, do they? They stay in South Africa.
Yeah, and Chris Boyd, the Hurricanes coach, kind of called it a few weeks ago, when he said that teams will have a look at what the travel potential is in the knockout stages, and they will sort of fashion their selections around that. By the time this game kicks off, the Lions will know whether they can still chase the top spot. So, they're kind of going to go into it with the attitude that they have to win it, and that finish as high as you possibly can. And I think they're favourites. I mean, I can't see the Sharks, all things being equal, toppling them today.
But that spread, though, Gary, surely that's too little against the Lions side.
I think that the Sharks grow an extra tooth when they play the Lions. That's the truth.
Well, they've been gummy sharks for the last 6 weeks, haven't they?
What's that?
None. Haven't had any teeth.
That's true. But
you support them, don't you?
Yeah, well, stay true to my roots.
I just worry about conditions in Durban never really supporting the Lions. I mean, never really... not supporting them. The conditions make it very difficult for them. And the ball's slippery and everything, and it doesn't really suit their style of rugby. I think they'll beat the spread, but I don't think they're going to beat it by 20 points. I'm with you, though. Yeah. I think that 8.5 is probably 3 points or 4 points below where I thought it would come out. Sure. I like the Lions.
Okay, I think we all do. Right, let's talk about golf. It's the 146th Open Championship. World Sports Betting have another special. Back any player to win the 2017 Open Championship before the start of round 2 and get your full stake back in free play if your selection finishes second. That is actually a fantastic bet.
Good, yeah.
How many players in the Open Championship? 156?
Yeah.
Probably will be by the time they all settle and get organised. So that's interesting, because I'm backing, there's one player I'm backing, he's a little bit short. Not in stature, just in price.
Rom.
No,
he's playing well, that guy.
I'm going to bet Ricky Fowler this year.
Okay, well, I've got someone different
watched him
as
all
well.
Day yesterday. He's a real good player now. Listen, they're all good players, but just
is this
watching
links?
Oh yeah, this is not half.
Right,
watching the Scottish Open.
Then?
Well, the Americans have been brilliant over the last few years.
I don't think they're going to now, but I mean, they are. No, I'd like them to go even further down.
No, we don't have anyone.
Exactly. Because I just think that in this tournament, in the Open, there's always a guy that come from far down in the bottom of the betting.
And there'll always be that one romantic that looks like winning going into the final round.
Whether it's a Tom Watson or whoever it is. So I think find a guy at 100 to 1 and back him at 10 to 1 with WSB to run in the top 10. Then you don't have to worry about who's going to win it. I just think if you look at that betting there, I can give you a case why a lot of the top guys can't win.
Yeah, and also it's probably the most fluid major as well in terms of when it starts to second, third round. Conditions change.
Conditions, absolutely right. And where they're
very, very flexible.
Where they're up on St Anne's, they're up on that coast, Southport. The other guy, there's a few guys. If you're watching the Scottish Open, which I have been all, ever since the first ball was hit, I've been watching it, trying to fathom out. But I just like Ricky Fowler. He looks as if he can plod his way around a course now, and he's been close on a couple of occasions. There's plenty there. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it can be blowing a gale in the morning, can be lovely and peaceful in the afternoon. Just depends which side of the draw you get. You've got to take your chance as far as that is concerned. Today, apparently, is going to be an awful day today. I fancy Ricky Fowler to win this, but again, today it's going to be a horrible day today, apparently.
How's John Rahm going?
He didn't play.
No, but he won the Irish Open last week. He crotched up, absolutely. So Rahm for you in the British Open.
I like him.
Yep. Liam, do you have a choice?
Justin Rose.
Mine as well.
Yeah, really?
And the punter?
Hey?
Who's the punter going?
I'm going to go for Stenson.
Again,
I know he's had a poor 12 months since he won it. I just got a feeling
something wrong with it. There's a little bit wrong with everything. Whether it's off the tee, whether it's his second shot, whether it's putting. He just hasn't, I watched him again because he went through my mind as well,
We've got 30 seconds to talk about the Tour de France. We can continue the squabble off air. There's another special from World Sports Betting about the Tour de France. Back any cyclist to win any one of the 2017 Tour de France stages and get your full stake back in free bets if your selection finishes second.
If they're sprinting back Kittel, right?
Hey?
If they're sprinting back Kittel.
Well, there's no sprints for a while.
They will sprint again.
They will sprint again,
and they've got to go
when they
around
get to the Champs-Élysées.
Exactly, back Kittel there.
Yes.
I saw it's the first time I've ever seen, and I watch a lot of Tour de France, Froome collapse like he did 2 days ago.
I still think he's a certainty to win.
Certainty.
Yeah.
The best 6.5 to 10 shot I've ever seen.
Couldn't agree more. Right.
through.
So that's what we think of the Tour de France. After this, well, we're going to go back to Australia. After this, we'll talk a little bit about poker, Wimbledon finals, best bets, Techie Town, all coming. So now we're going to shout home Dom Zaki's second half of the double, and hopefully World Sports Betting pay a lot at the end of this. Right, we're back. Can you believe it? Here we go again. We're continuing along as we get busy with some other things in the world of sport. Rod needs to sit down. He's getting excited.
Oh, here he goes again. Just look at the eclipse of the sun when he stands up.
I was showing him my things.
I saw your things, don't worry.
Thank goodness you didn't have time to show us everything.
Not pretty, eh?
No.
That
Not
looks
pretty,
sore,
matey.
That looks properly sore.
You're in the
How long
red
do they
there.
think that will last, Rod? So
Well, it's got to be gone by next Saturday. I'm off to Kruger. I told,
really?
told the doctor, get rid of them by Saturday.
You know that predators are attracted to shingles?
Really? Which ones? The females?
All of them.
All of them? What?
Yes. Lions, tigers, cheetahs, hyenas.
Mate, let them come.
Well,
'cause
you won't see any of those up there.
You will. What?
You said it was hopeless.
Rubbish. We get everything, mate. We get the chasers. We get the whole everything. I'll bring you back pictures this time.
Ooh, whoopee.
Okay, we're going to get over to Belmont a bit later on.
Oh, what's happened?
Yeah, no, there's a miscommunication between that side and this side and our side.
Don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the show. Right, we're going to talk about some poker quickly. Gary, you were down in Richards Bay for the week, weren't you?
Yeah. And another big punter there, Alvin, a Durban friend
Not
of ours.
Alvin, who used to work here.
No, Alvin that used to work here couldn't run a place in anything. No, he's a proper, he knows he's racing, he knows he's also a great poker player. Eventually he won a tournament, a decent tournament, So congratulations to him. And it was just a lot of fun. I didn't know Richards Bay could be that much fun, So, and as you can see from there, it was so much fun. They got me doing another one back in Pelosi in November, which is, I promise you, it's a nice tournament. We only allow 30 Joburg people to go because the Durban people take up the bulk of the field, right? But that's in November. We got in Graceland next month, the
Good
10th
song,
and the 13th of August. Yeah, a lot of, And then we got the main WPT Empress Palace Poker Classic in October. Some of the people that have come to the tournament now doing okay. It's the biggest tournament in the world, taking place in Vegas now.
Oh, yes.
Right.
The World Series.
Yeah, the World Series. The first prize is $8 million. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Will that be on
right?
television?
Yes, but we can't see it.
Oh, we
It's on,
can't
I
see
think it goes to...
Not even online.
Yes, you can
Sure,
stream it.
sure,
They show it
absolutely.
live, and they show it much closer live than they used to. Only about a 15-second delay now and everything, But they down, when I came here this morning, they were down to about 400 from 7,500.
Yeah, right, yeah.
7,500 people. They have to split the start over 3 days. Crazy,
Tell me, is poker growing in South Africa? I mean, if anyone would know,
It
it's
is.
you.
I mean, yes, it is. It's growing. We're spending a lot of attention on the bottom end of the market, trying to grow people organically and bring them up. You know what I mean? Those that have got ability, rather than a guy just coming with money and losing it all. We're trying to coach people, and there are a lot of ways where you can learn about poker and everything. But it is growing. We were up 18% on our April tournament.
I still want to come to one of those big tournaments.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully this year you're in better health.
Pay
than you
your
will,
money,
you know?
of course you can.
Well, thanks for the permission, Dad.
That's all right.
All right, well, let's now move into golf and talk about the tournaments that are happening at the moment. There's the John Deere Classic and also the Scottish Open going on right now. So we're going to start off with the tour in America. Yeah, let's talk about the John Deere Classic as the second round has now come to an end. And here's the leaderboard, Terry. A few of these guys looking to get into the British Open. Obviously, Zach Johnson won it a few years ago.
Yeah, usually you have a little sign up there to say that they've already qualified, haven't you? So we're not quite sure exactly how many of those have qualified already. But it's very much a secondary tournament, really, compared to what's going on in Scotland. I mean, I'm very surprised that a lot of those players aren't over
Scotland.
and in Scotland, getting used to the conditions, etc. But it's an okay, but it's not a great field, is it? To be honest.
No, I mean, the focus for punting and viewership is going to be in Scotland, surely.
Well, we're going to get there now. We're going to save the best for last. But Patrick Rogers 2 shots clear of Bryson DeChambeau. Here's the outright winner situation. What about a bit of 10-1 Kevin Kisner, Liam? catch your eye?
Well, Kevin Tway actually caught my eye there.
Oh, yeah.
Is he related to Bob Tway?
I'll tell you who's been playing pretty well, and yet it just seems to just distract it. I don't know. It's Charlie Hoffman.
But he can't putt.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's things about him that you think, why hasn't he won more? And there's a reason.
He's
Not a
started
bad
off
call
so well.
because
Maybe
he
because
kind of
he
looks
cut
like
his
he could be a
haircut,
John Deere
right?
salesman.
With a green glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been for him enough times. I'm not going back to
the
the
main
world with him.
tournament is in Scotland. You
Well,
know,
let's have a look at the main tournament then. You can pass your opinion.
No, it's just it's a terrific field. It's probably as good a field as you'll find. I mean, look at that at the top.
Do you want to know the honest truth? 2 weeks ago, I backed Padraig Harrington, the American tour, and he led after 2 rounds. I thought, whew, money in the bank, any
Yeah.
price, fell away.
I've been watching him. I mean, you know, he's changed his style and everything. Now, you know, he walks after pretty well every shot off the tee. He's trying to get a bit of forward momentum. I don't know if you notice it, but that everybody's been talking about that. The German don't fancy him one little bit. The second one,
Don't
never heard
fancy
of the
Poulter
third
either.
guy, never heard of him. He's English. Shit,
There's your man Ricky Fowler, so you think he's well poised?
What I do, yeah. I mean, as I said, I watched him yesterday, and he's only 2 shots off it. But it's not a lot when you have a look at it. The top sort of 20, there's only going to be 4 or 5 shots, so anybody can come, and it's a quality field. It's a
Quality.
real
Take somebody
quality.
with a bit of value there, whether it's Colsaerts or Kuchar. I just think that Fowler, I think he's a good chance he will win, but I'm thinking now you're going to see probably 5-2. I think it's a bit short because one hole can take him
And
out of the tournament.
3-1.
2 rains to come as well.
3-1.
You see, WSB just give bonuses everywhere you go, you know.
Yeah.
But
They're stenciling at 25-1. I mean, you know.
yeah, but I think I'd rather back him next week when he starts at the same as everybody else and being 12 shots behind now. But I mean, I think Kuchar at 11-1, there's some value there. And definitely Colsaerts at 22-1 He's won the season. I think he's going to get a run for your money with him, you know.
He played well
And he's
yesterday
going to
too.
go off a little bit earlier than the real leaders.
Yep.
And if conditions get bad, big advantage, even an
Conditions
hour.
today are going to be a lot more difficult than they were the first 2 days.
Where are they playing, Terry?
Up in Scotland. I think it's isn't it called Old McDonald's place, isn't it, or something?
Have you played there
It's a
before?
farm. I've not played there actually. No, not played there.
Old McDonald's farm.
Something like that.
How does the song go?
E-I-E-I-A, isn't it?
There you go.
No, so you haven't forgotten your nursery rhymes
No,
from
no,
500
right.
years ago.
And all that crap, yeah.
All right, we've got about 2 minutes before we have to go back to Australia. So
You sure?
Yeah, no, this time we're definitely going back to
Okay.
Belmont, and we'll shut home in the second half of Dom's double. Before we get there, a little bit of Premier League news. We've spoken about Kyle Walker already having signed for Manchester City, but you know, things are starting to happen. There's all that.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of activity. As I
Lacazette
said,
started off nicely.
I went through and had a look at the prices. I mean, Man City 7-4. I can't have them at the moment. You know, not at 7-4. Man United were 130. Chelsea was 7-2, 8-1. Liverpool
To win it.
yeah, to win the Premiership.
Who do you think's going to get the better of business? Because now Lukaku's officially gone to
He's
Manchester
gone,
United.
yeah,
It looks like
absolutely.
Morata's going to end up going to Chelsea,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea have done better business.
Well, and I still think there's going to be a bit more business to do
of
as well. They're going to, don't forget, they're going to lose a couple. See,
Costa's going.
Costa and the big boy in midfield. Matic, they're not going on tour even, so that tells me that they're on the move. They're going to be moving out. You know, they're big replacements. Them, yeah, they are. I mean,
Is your man going to stay at Southampton, Virgil van Dijk?
from all what I've been told, yes. But I mean, money speaks. I mean, I can't say definitely. Oh, that's good.
You think the whole country's watching it in this
Yeah,
format?
absolutely. It was
No,
a
it's just-
storm out.
Until he's been playing up during the week.
No, it has been. I think it's the
Oh,
signal
it's the
because of
telly.
singles.
Oh, so it was us.
No,
there
no,
we
there
are.
we go.
Well played.
To be honest, you looked a lot better. in
I
that
did
format.
that. Yeah.
Was that a good buy, Lukaku? Was that a good buy?
Well, we'll only have to wait and see. I think he's got to do a little bit more. But I mean, 75 million. I mean, it's a lot of money. Isn't it? A lot of
Mourinho
money.
hasn't ruled out giving your man Brommer a contract
I
again.
told you
saw
that.
that, huh?
You all said when he had the knee injury, he's gone, he'll never come back.
You go to the States. You play in the States.
Nah, but if he gets right, what?
He could go. You know, imagine how many
Can't get
headers he'd
right.
score in China. If he went to China, I mean, he could get 30,
Stop,
40
stop,
goals
stop,
a season,
stop.
No. Yeah.
Why can't he come right? Why?
I mean, if he goes there, it'd be a chink in anybody's defence. He
Oh,
will.
you can't say
He
that.
Probably will.
You can't say that.
He will.
But why can't he come back and play with United?
Well, I just think at his age, and it's a real serious injury. It's not a. I think it's a young man's injury where you might recover from that, from being the age he is. I think he'd end up in the State earning himself a fortune there. But there's a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement. You know, it's not finished yet. Don't close to the end of August, so there's going to be plenty of movement coming and going. Our guy Van Dijk, I was just telling you about him. From all what I've been told,
He's going to stay.
He's definitely going to stay. The one I'm worried about is the left back Bertrand. I think is the best left back in England. It looks like Manchester City are now you know, probably going to try and take him on board because they've sacked all their fullbacks, haven't they? They've got. You know,
Zabaleta's gone.
Well, the 3 they've gone. The other right back's gone as well. Clichy's just signed for a Turkish side. He's gone there, so they're short of fullbacks. So
the captain still there? What's his name?
Yeah, Company on one leg.
But he's built up class, isn't he? You know, you can't rely on Company.
No, absolutely.
30 games out of him in the season.
His injury history is horrendous.
Yeah.
That's why at 7-4, I can't have that.
The biggest punish I've ever seen. I think they'll do well to get into the top 4. I really do. Yeah. City. I think they'll do well to get into the top 4.
I think going forward, they're always going to score goals.
I don't think
they'll make the top.
But I agree with you. I'd always be worried about them defensively.
They'll make the top 4.
I think Chelsea certainties for the top 4.
Yes.
I think United certainties. I think between Spurs and Arsenal, one of those two will get into
Arsenal
the top
11-1.
We've got 10 seconds, quickly. Yes?
What?
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
10 seconds up. I thought you were going to carry on with your final team for the top 4.
Hang on, we're not going there now. Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're going. Yes, all right. Let's go to Belmont. Let's shout home Dom's selection in race number 3. We'll be back to talk about Wimbledon and also Techie Town after this.
Sharing that there with Helmsgate, who they bet a bit of 7s, now back into 6.50, having opened at $5.50. The tote at the moment, War God 3.30, Prophet Street $4 even, and it's $4.60. I beg your pardon, it's not. It's $6.20 for Candlelight Star, and it's $7.80. Helmsgate and Barrackey beats $8.30. So they're the markets for race number 3, the Sonia handicap. Here's Rose Hill now with Darren Flindell. Runners are now at the start here for race number 3, the Sonia handicap. The field arriving at the 1300 for the next. So Uptown Funk and also Prophet Street have been loaded in there, and in the gates as well as Max Almighty. They bring up Testamezzo. Walking towards its allocated stall, it goes on in, and also joined by Helmsgate. So now War God to move up. Barrackey Beats will be The final of the runners to move in for the De Sonia handicap. They've backed in Candlelight Star and they've backed in Barracky Beats. They're nearly ready. Profit Street, $4. Favourite here as they prepare to jump. The blindfolded Barracky Beats goes in.
Everyone just be ready.
The signal on top of the gates is now there. Ready to run. Gate Spring, they're racing. He missed it a half a length. Barracky Beats. Uptown Funk first to get going. Helms Gate, War God left quickly, and now Hill is sending Barracky Beats forward after the start. In behind them, Prophet Street from Candlelight Star getting back second last. As the speed comes right off on the inside is Testa Mezzo back with Max Almighty. Out by the 900 they go. Barracky Beats as they go into the far corner. Zipped around the outside now. There was no speed, so Hill takes it up. 800 from home. Barracky Beats a length and a half clear. Running second, Helmsgate. 1.5 away, War God. On the outside of Uptown Funk, and then the grey, Candlelight Star. On the inside of it then is Prophet Street. Max Almighty going up second from last at the 600 and dropping out Testa Mezzo, but it's Barracky Beats who brings them to the corner. 450 left to go. Barracky Beats a length and a half to 2 in front of Helmsgate, and then 2 lengths War God. Uptown Funk, they're coming off hard on the corner. Barracky Beats opened up and led clearly. Helmsgate second, War God struggling. Prophet Street going up towards the inside with Uptown Funk, and now Candlelight Star. Helmsgate won't go away, and he comes at Barracky Beats, and Prophet Street winding up and further back Candlelight Star. Prophet Street on the inside went to Barracky Beats. Helmsgate, Prophet Street, Helmsgate, Prophet Street. Prophet Street on the inside just gets the nod here from on the outside. Helmsgate, Barracky Beats the middle, then Uptown Funk, Candlelight Star, War God, Max Almighty, and trailing them in last is Testa Mezzo. Prophet Street, ridden by Randolph Tan, has got right up on the inside of them. He was finishing well. Helmsgate first to grab Barracky Beats, who kicked fleetingly. Helmsgate then got the better of him, and it was Tan who was waiting on the inside run to come. And here on Prophet Street has just beaten Helmsgate. Barracky Beats with Uptown Funk, Candlelight Star in a good tussle for fourth placing. Prophet Street, $451.50. He blew out to $4 here on track, Prophet Street. War God disappointing there. He couldn't stay with them at all. He was all at sea after they'd sprinted quickly, couldn't let down, and he dropped right out of contention. Barracky Beats had fought and was having a tooth and nail battle with Helmsgate before Tan wound up Prophet Street. And it was he that finished the bet of the Viscount Street Show gelding for Soph and Serge Madrigali, D. Lupus, trained by Peter and Matt Giadresco. Randy Tan, second on the apprentices list, and takes out race number 3. Helmsgate is second in, number 8, by Universal Ruler from Mercy Dash. Vaughan Sigley, Glenn Smith for Glenn, and Jenny Kettlewell, T. Mackey, and also S and Ms. K. Jessup, T. O'Day, S. Spear, M. Lorimer, and M. Cusick. Third money to Barracky Beats, number 6, by So Secret from Dance High, raced by Terry Zepos, and Aristo Mikalopoulos, trained by Jim Taylor, ridden by Ryan Hill. Half ahead the margin, a next second and third in 1:18.34, and they did sprint.
Right, let's move into the Turkey Town competition, and we're going to give winners from the last 3 weeks. Well done to Vion Aronsa, Phil Weston, and Mr. Ndu, who's who's the most recent winner of the 1,000 Rand Turkey Town voucher. We'll be getting a hold of you during the week and handing those over.
Them. They're 2D and Do's, they're brothers. They need to know just to clarify who this one is.
Do you want to help us?
No, it's not my job. What's his name?
Listen, I just want to apologise. We had a problem with our SMS system.
Yes.
You got a little bit of
Shingles.
You got a little bit of a what do you call
Virus.
it? Yeah. What's that other thing called? I've got
You've got a bit of shingle.
a bit of shingles in it. Yeah. So anyway, those 3 winners have now popped up.
They'll all
So-
get their stuff and off they go to
yeah,
get their shoes.
they'll go and
Brilliant,
get the
you
best
know.
shoes and the cheapest shoes you've ever seen in your
Who's
life.
that on the left? That's not Shane McGregor.
That is 2.
What? Who scored the opening goal of the 2010 Soccer World Cup? Is it A, Shane McGregor, B, Lionel Messi, or C, Sipiwe Shabalala? Here are the instructions. You need to SMS your name, SMS with your name and surname. Competition closes on Monday at 6 o'clock. Text your answer to 44472. Terms and conditions apply. SMS costs 50 cents per entry. Standard rates apply. No free SMSs, and get it right and get your name out the hat, and you could well be at Techie Town just a few days afterwards getting your favourite pair of techies. Hopefully it's going to do a little
New
bit better
ones.
than...
Hey.
You
Go
need
for the
new ones.
Do you know how
ones.
many people stop me in the street and say, "Where do you buy
And
them?"
start laughing. Yeah, I
There's
do.
many people that
No,
buy
those are brilliant. Those
I'd
are
say more people stop in OK, you get shingles in that.
And I've got to be honest,
Stains all
they
over
are
them.
magnificent shoes, but didn't Brahm give you any polish or anything to clean
I actually
your
bought
shoes?
some suede cleaner, and I must try and
Well,
do
use
this
it.
Well, okay, all right. Give
You
me
can't
a
get
chubby.
down there because of the shingles.
I've been sick. Yeah, I tell you what, I had
Try
to
and bend over.
I had to get someone to do my shoelaces up. They must have been fat, Gary, because you told me.
Yeah,
to
on the
tie
side. I told you that, exactly.
In
I
the
bet you
middle.
Alistair's shoes are tied in the middle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you always look. I promise you it's a
Is that why you
fail-safe
buy
thing.
slippers?
Wait, explain your theory.
Fat people, shoes are always tied on the side.
because that's
Because they
quite
can't bend down straight, right?
Yeah.
So they got to,
Gotta
well,
go
they
on
or
the side and do
we
it.
do it over here.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, thanks. I'll tell my wife to tie them.
No,
this
your
morning.
wife didn't do those because maybe she did the right one, not the left one. You did yourself for sure. I guarantee you sat like this on the bed and
Give
tied
them
it on the
some
side.
stick,
I love them.
Sure. You
The
give them
most
some
comfortable
stick.
shoes you'll ever go.
They
Go to
are
Techie
brilliant shoes, but you just need something to clean them.
I know. You've got every
I think they
stain
got
on there you
holding.
can
I
think
like
of.
them. They got holding. They've been to the game reserve.
That's
They've
it.
been to board meetings. They've done it all. I think they got
Too many-
character.
I don't get invited to too many board meetings, let me tell you.
No, they got character. I like
All
them.
right, thank you.
Okay, all right. Wimbledon finals coming up this weekend. Of course, today is the women's between Venus Williams and Garbine Muguruza. Here is the betting. Muguruza 15-20. She's favourite. Can you believe it, Liam? Is that even Muguruza on the left, by the way?
No, it doesn't
No,
look
it's
like
not her.
it's not.
Doesn't
It's
look-
Kerber.
Definitely not her.
It's
Isn't that
definitely
the,
Kerber,
isn't it a
right?
British girl?
No.
And that looks like, I mean, no.
I know
that's-
it is. I think
That's
it's
a very
from
old
the
picture
office,
of Venus
isn't it?
Williams as well. Muguruza favourite, Liam. Who are you going for in the women's final?
I would go Williams. Just statistically, obviously she's 37 years of age. That will count against her. This, I think, was a 75th Grand Slam tournament, which makes her the most experienced tennis player ever in terms of Grand Slams.
Really, yeah?
But I mean, she's going for how many has she won on her 5 there? 6. She's going for a 6th. So
She's lucky
for
her
me,
sister's not there.
yeah, of course. I mean, there is.
I think
You mean
she-
in what capacity?
I
Dave?
think that's what I've worked it out. That's what she did. She took her sister's birth control tablets, replaced them with sugar tablets, and now she wins a major. Brilliant. She deserves it now. Now I'm going to back her. Oh,
30,
what a scam.
37, good effort, eh?
Yeah, good effort.
Very good effort.
I think the other girl's a certainty.
Muguruza?
She was so good in the semi-finals.
she
she
was,
won a
she
major.
was.
She was outstanding.
I know, but I mean, Bob Urim phoned me earlier and tipped
But
me
you're right,
Venus.
experience.
But then, I
One
mean,
came-
if you look at Williams dismantled Conter,
Yeah.
obviously had a lot
How
of support.
How about, let's say she's British, Hungarian parents, born in Australia,
Oh, she's good then.
and came and got in 2005.
Really?
Citizenship.
Got
nothing
a
wrong with that.
citizenship.
She'll be
And we're
regretting that when
streaming
they're out
from
of the
first
union.
time in 39 years we've had a
Oi,
British.
oi. It's the same as Andy Murray, because he's Scottish. He's Scottish now that he's out of Wimbledon, but he's English when he's in.
Best thing out of Scotland was the road, I've told you.
know what I mean?
The road. Did you get it, Rod? I'm not going to touch you, but did you get that, Rod?
I did indeed.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
Frog and Toad Road. Got it? Yeah.
What's that Cockney for?
Strong and Toad is a road.
God, thick as Larry.
What about the men's final? Federer is playing against Marin Cilic. Phew, I watched Federer last night, Gary. He was absolutely brilliant
Brilliant,
again.
huh? That's absolutely
He's not even
incredible how
trying.
good he is. But his preparation has been spot
Yeah,
on.
that's the
he
point.
had the guts to not go play on clay.
That's quite
why
right.
I said there was no way Nadal could win this tournament because his prep was so bad.
He's focused on this and
exactly.
this only.
You know,
Yep.
he's worked out that he's not a youngster that he can play every tournament.
tournament,
anymore.
quite right.
Focuses on one. If he can win another major this year and finish the year with 2, maybe 3 majors at his point of his career, where a year ago it looked like he was finished, you know, all credit to him. I've always said this, he's the only sportsman at that sort of level that there's never been a bad word about him. You cannot point
Just
a
got
bad
on with
finger
it.
at Federer.
He was a
Brilliant.
bit of a hothead when he started out, but then he calmed down in his early 20s, and you can probably see the results now.
Yeah, but I mean, there have been stories that he's taken drugs or medicine or he's been, unfaithful to
About
his wife,
Federer?
which there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that, he's just been a great example to all kids.
You've had a right go with this show.
That was a foot of nuts.
I'm just supporting Tiger Woods. That was it. And it was my stand for Tiger Woods, Which I also don't understand. The man had an accident in his driveway and he went from number 1 in the world to a wife-beater, alcoholic, drug addict that can't play golf anymore. I reversed very carefully now since then, But I mean, I think Federer will beat him.
Wait, what are you number 1 in the world?
No, but I mean, if I had to have the same decline that he had, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be, what I mean?
Absolutely.
Exactly as Terry said, brown bread, gone. Ois.
What's that Cockney for?
Dead as a doornail. Take the second word and see what it rhymes with.
Yeah.
Brown bread,
It's
dead.
very difficult. He's educated here.
You know what I'm saying?
Not like Ross.
Despite the overwhelming odds, I'm actually going to go for Cilic.
Are you?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you a true story why I'm not going for Chile? I phoned my dad when I was overseas. I wanted back Chile at 16-1. Can you get me on? Because I couldn't get on to all the... He said, no, he's been knocked out. I said, thanks. I asked, why would he like
he'd been knocked out of the
He said
tournament?
he's been knocked out the tournament. I never backed him at
Brilliant.
16-1. I came back home and saw that he was in the semi-finals.
Oh, dear.
I mean, really.
How's your dad and you going now?
I don't speak to him anymore. I don't even know where he lives.
Look, I mean, Federer's had almost the perfect season, given that he's got a much reduced schedule. I mean, he won in Miami, won obviously in Melbourne, won at Indian Wells, and has played really well in this tournament. So he obviously is the favourite, but I just have a sneaking suspicion that Chile will go on to win his
What is going on?
second Grand Slam tournament.
Because he said, I don't even know his number. I've lost his number. I don't know where he lives.
Have you raised him?
Sorry.
16-1. The worst part of it is, right, all the money I had in my WSB account, I then went and put on a horse on Tuesday afternoon at Del Pesh Road. What was it, in this last race? And he got beaten there he just never quite got there. Maybe it was Wednesday. The last race, Del Pesh was on a favourite. That Dryer's horse. Yeah, it must have been Wednesday. And
Friend
Durban.
request.
Yes. You won't be sending in Dennis any of those. Got beaten second. Or Anthony Del Pesh for that matter, So that's it. So all my money's cleared out of the can. I got to start again today with a deposit.
What are you going to do if Cilic wins?
I don't know. I don't know if he can.
You know that tall building in Sunset?
No, never mind what will you do if he wins?
I'll be very upset. Look, I'm up for adoption anyway, so it makes no difference. It's a very depressing time for me, But
after your last comments about the wife and all that kind of stuff, you're going to get home, there's going to be no Lauren.
That's okay. There's silver lining everywhere. But I mean,
you may need the fire hydrant. Don't knock it over on your way in.
No, exactly. Look, I just think Cilic is another. I always pronounce his name badly, Ivanisevic. That wasn't bad.
Goran.
Goran, you know what I mean? Who obviously had a good record at Wimbledon and won Wimbledon, And I think that, he's got a big serve and he can pressurise Federer. But the problem is...
It's Croatian.
Yes, but they're not too far, right? Let's be perfectly honest. They're
Just
right
over the
next
border.
door. But the thing is this. I just think with Federer, he wears you down, doesn't he? His service games, 40 seconds to a minute and a quarter, 15, 30, 40 love, boom, over. And you just make one mistake on one of your service games and you'd love 15, you're under such pressure against him.
He wasn't actually at his best in the semi-finals. I mean, he gave Berdych, I think there was 6 break points. Berdych only took 1. I think it'll be a tighter match, in the final. Cilic has the booming serve. He's got powerful ground strokes. I think he'll test him. And, if it goes to 5 sets, I think the younger guy might prevail.
Well, let's have a look at best bets and see if any Wimbledon features in any of ours. But before we get there, don't forget about Gary and Dom's Rugby and Racing Mixer. Back Gary and Dom's Rugby and Racing Mixer today and gets an additional 20% of your winnings as free bets if your bet wins. Of course, bonus limited to 500 Rand. So this is the Rugby and Racing Mixer. As Dom said, left, right, good night. That is where it will actually end because the Stormers play later on this afternoon. The Turffontein Racing is tomorrow. So 9 to 2 there. Gary?
Yeah, it's a big price for that double. I mean, obviously left, right, good night. I think he's got a horse of the cock to beat, if I'm not mistaken, in the field. But one thing's for sure, if you take that double, you'll go through to Turffontein tomorrow. The Stormers will beat the Bulls.
Yeah. Oh, I like a bit of that. Right, here's my situation. Venus Williams to win the ladies' final. Roger Federer to win the gentlemen's final.
It's gone already.
What do you mean, who's
You're
gone?
the biggest Jonah you are. That's what I've taken as well.
That cannot miss. Chris Froome will still win Le Tour de France.
Will he? What is that?
Matey.
Because you've got his
So he's got a
strengths to
time
come.
trial.
Yeah, and,
in the time trial, he'll be too good
he'd
for a
be too
route.
good.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's not number one at the moment, is he?
He's lost the yellow
He's lost
jersey.
it,
Yes,
yeah.
he's what,
8
6 seconds behind.
Oh, okay.
How fast can Tana be on?
How fast, Ken?
Nairo Quintana, how far is he behind? He's
No,
the
long,
only
long
other
way.
guy.
Miles
Then
behind.
Bodin,
That's talk about Jonah and Bros. That is the biggest I've ever seen.
I actually had the audacity to back him last year. Useless.
Yeah. All right. Here's Gary Lenson's best bets. Gary, what have you done?
I've gone for the Canes, Stormers and Lions all outright to win. It comes to 28 to 10 to put them together. And like we said, Froome to win the Tour de France, 6.5 to 10. It's a massive price.
Absolutely right. Rod's next.
Hurricanes, I agree. I think they'll beat the Crusaders today. Chiefs to beat the Brumbies. Brumbies have been poor, haven't they? Just been disappointing. The best Australian side, but rubbish. And I'm gonna stick with England because I'm just gonna stick with England. I just think I hate that word momentum because it's rubbish. Whatever happened a week ago doesn't mean it's going to come through today. Big first session. I'll certainly be watching that when I go home today.
Can you watch it with shingles?
You
You'll
can
be able to last.
I mean,
No one
since I
else
walked
wants
in
to
the
sit
studio,
with you,
my
so you
back
can
is
put on
sore.
what you want.
All right. Here's Liam. Liam, what have you done?
I've gone with the Chiefs to beat the Brumbies by a handsome margin. Brumbies resting 12 players because they're looking ahead to the knockout stages
Jeez,
already.
do they have 12 players to put in?
I was surprised when I read that. The Force to beat the Waratahs, then Hamilton. I mean, he's got like 4 or 5 wins at Silverstone already, so it'll be a good thing there. And he'll also inherit pole, I think, from Bottas.
Yeah, he's got a penalty.
And
Give him
then
shingles if he doesn't want the
Cilic,
pole.
this is my
What
this
about
is my
Hamilton, the only
left
guy
field
not
one.
to turn up. Only
Yes.
driver out of all of them not to turn up.
Said he needed time off.
So credible.
Who?
Hamilton.
What do you think of Lewis Hamilton?
I think he's a brass. I think he's a great driver. I think he's probably the best driver of the lot.
He's better than Jackie Stewart.
Difficult to tell. Different eras, aren't they? Different. You know.
What have you done?
Ricky Vara to win the Scottish Open. I've gone for him.
Yeah.
The GS.
Pronounce the name.
You got to help us.
Gone for it. then.
Rosa to win the ladies' final and Federer to win the gentlemen's final.
No football this week. That's
No,
actually the
bit-
best altar cam you've ever taken. You get
Yeah.
better than even money.
No, yeah, I worked today. It was about 11 to 2.
And if you throw foul in, 100%, you
Actually,
take the
yeah.
treble.
Of course,
There you go.
absolutely.
Well played. All right, so that's pretty much that. Thanks very much for watching. Big thanks to Dom this morning. Thanks to Liam, to Gary, to Rod, and to Terry. In fact, a special thanks to Rod for spreading his diseases to all of us.
you.
And we'll see you hopefully again next week if we haven't come down with all sorts of different things. From us here on World Sports Betting's morning show, have a wonderful weekend. We've got off to a good start with Dom's best bet done in Australia. Hopefully it continues for the rest of the weekend. Goodbye.